Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first day of competition here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith, and we're live here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. This marks the first time since 2008 the World Youth Championships has been held in the United States, and we will be here for the next 9 days, bringing you the best youth bowlers from nearly 40 countries. Right now you're watching the first squad of singles qualifying for the girls. They will bowl 6 games, and that will be followed by the other half of the field for 6 games. And then we'll cut things down to the top 4 for the semifinals, which will take place tomorrow. So we'll get a schedule for you here in just a minute and all the details. We do appreciate everybody tuning in from around the world. Again, we'll be here wire-to-wire coverage here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska, starting things off with singles all day today and tomorrow. And we'll have all the details of the event coming up for you in just a minute. Again, this is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith. Excited to be at the World Youth Championships. The best bowlers from nearly 40 countries. Thanks for tuning in. Right now on our featured pairs here at Sun Valley Lanes, we'll be behind these 2 pairs for the duration, 15 and 16, 17 and 18. And we've got competitors from Colombia, Finland, Singapore, and Mexico. All right, so things rolling along here in game number 1. All participants will bowl 6 games of singles, and then we will cut the field to the top 4 on the girls' side and top 4 on the boys' side for the semifinals.
A few questions in the chat. Is there live scoring available? And yes, there is. If you visit worldbowling.org, we also have a direct link in the description below the video. They actually have an online scoring is what's called on the page. Go ahead, click on that, and it'll bring you to the Cubica AMF system, and you can scroll through, and that's might be a little bit easier way to read the scoreboards. They are a little tough to read from here, but you can also change the settings on your video with the little gear button on the screen. You can get all the way up to a 720 HD, so that makes it a little bit easier, especially if you go to full screen if possible. But you can follow along with all competitors here in the 32 lane Sun Valley lanes. Big thanks to John Lucido and his crew for getting everything prepared for us here so we can bring you the top youth competitors from across the globe. As Matt mentioned, 6 games of qualifying here. We'll actually have 2 squads for both the boys and the girls. So this is girls squad A. B squad will be coming up shortly after they finish up their 6 games. But the pattern being used this week is the 45-foot WTBA Rome. So there'll only be one pattern throughout the course of the entire week, so these players will get very familiar with that. All competitors were able to get familiar with an official practice session yesterday, spread across the day. For those of you curious about Junior Team USA, in this squad, Julia Bond and Stephanie Schwartz are on the lanes. They're over on lanes 19 and 20 at the moment. A quick rundown of our competitors here. Behind lanes 15 through 18 at Sun Valley lanes. Representing Finland on 15 and 16, we have Seni Savakirki and Ani Jutinen. For Colombia, Laura Garzon and Veronica Cepeda. And over on 17 and 18, representing Singapore, we have Joy Yap and Tracy C. For Mexico, Maribel and Raquel Orozco. Competitors will move each game, so we'll have a fresh set of bowlers. Get to see styles from across the world. Chinese Taipei, one pair to our left right now. Very unique style if you've never seen it before. Known as helicopter or spinner. But when we get to their pairs, definitely something cool to check out. Shot there from Seni. When we're all said and done, the top 4 competitors will advance to the medal round, which will be featured here live on Bowl TV tomorrow. We'll have both the boys and the girls semifinal and final matches featured here. Actually be going on simultaneously, so we'll do our best to move the cameras around, get them in the right spots, get as much action as we can. Janet Hunt from Australia getting off to a strong start. One pair to our left. Striking the first, spare in the second. Hasn't missed. She's actually getting ready to step up for her 10th frame. You can see her. At least you'll be able to see the ball go down in lane 14. There's Janet. Wheeling and dealing. Thinking 280 out of the gates here. Australia well represented here. Some familiar names coaching this year. Andrew Frawley, we got to see him at the World Senior Championships take home a few gold medals. Now helping the next generation. Coaching his country. So nice 265 start for Janet Hunt. Definitely will put her in the running quickly to make that top 4. Great way to get out of the gates. She's actually playing a little bit further left than some of our other competitors that we're seeing here behind lanes 15 through 18. A little bit more direct lines. Janet was about a full zone left.
Well, you see it 45 feet. Generally, players are going to want to migrate more towards the inside part of the lane, just the nature of the numbers, I guess. And, of course, you want to get out there and see what the lane will give you first, but you know, getting in your comfort zone and definitely creating a little bit of that angle is going to help with carry throughout the week. The ladies generally play the lanes a little bit straighter, but some of the big-handed folks can get left and wheel it, and that will of course pay dividends with that angle and the carry percentage. But we'll see. It's just 6 games, and not a lot of rev rate necessarily across the house. So we'll probably see, you know, a little bit different scoring pace on the girls' side compared to the boys later on. But with most of these patterns, generally can be attacked from multiple angles, and so we should see again, as Aaron mentioned earlier, all the different styles from around the world, and doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you knock the pins down. And with 4 on a pair, a pretty quick pace it looks like, and you know, this week just over 200 bowlers in the field. Again, 37 countries represented. We have 79 girls at the first official count, and 129 boys, I think, was the final number there. So that'll get us just over that 200 mark, and the best of the best. And we'll be here all week long, singles, doubles, and team competition. We'll follow that up with the Masters finale for the week. A lot of medals on the line, and of course, all the pride that comes with success on the world stage.
All right, this is game 1 of 6 for the squad qualifying for singles competition.
And in the background, Mr. Smith, what could be a terrific opportunity for many of these players, being that we are here in the United States, in the Midwest, in Nebraska. Of course, this is bowling country, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, one of the top programs in the country year after year. But the proximity to so many great bowling schools, a lot of the top NCAA and collegiate coaches are in the building, at least early in the week, to kind of check out the next generation of talent. And we've seen an influx of international talent in the collegiate ranks in recent years with the Weber International, and of course some great players going to Wichita State, Claire Guerrero, Rocio Restrepo, and just it really is a big draw for these players, and now the opportunity to recruit players from around the world, making a short trip here. Pretty easy to get to from everywhere, really. So we see Vanderbilt, Arkansas State, Wichita State, Sam Houston State, just all the familiar programs here to take a look at the players. And we were in Hong Kong in 2014. We saw the Vanderbilt coaches come all the way over there to do the same thing, and they came away with a top recruit in Kristen Kwa from Singapore. So now she's a top player at Vanderbilt. So a great opportunity for these players to learn about college bowling, and in talking to some of the international players over the years, Camila Dahmers from Aruba, Stephanie Martins from Brazil, and just some of the names that we see on the PWBA tour now. They really didn't know that much about college bowling, and of course all that's involved, and for these coaches, they're pretty seasoned now, I think, at helping these international players get the right paperwork and get things in order. And now they're able to recruit on the global level and having it right here in the U.S. It's going to see big things, I think, for the collegiate programs in the next few years. And we should see some of these top players come our way here. And, of course, the great education they'll get, the great training. Players like Diana Zabialova from Latvia spent her career at Weber International, picked up a couple national titles there, and now she's decided to stick around and now is basically a semi-permanent resident of the U.S., bowling the PWBA Tour. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Angie Ramirez Perea, the list goes on. The international representation in the PWBA has been phenomenal these first 2 years back, and that's only going to get stronger. And we're seeing, I think, the next generation of PWBA stars here, maybe with a stop at the collegiate level.
Once again, if you want to follow your favorite player from your favorite country, or you can do so by going down into the description area below the video. We have a link to the official World Youth Championships bowling page, 2016 wyc.worldbowling.org. And by clicking on that, I'll bring you a page where you'll see another link for the live stream here, but you'll be able to catch results, participants, schedule, all that, and of course, live scoring. We do understand it's a little bit tough to see the names up there, so we'll do our best to let you know who's who when we get to each game and who comes to our featured pairs. But to follow along closely, that might be your best option. Have a few windows open. Stepping up on lane 18, Maribel Orozco, looking for 6 in a row. from Mexico. Veronica Cepeda over on 15. Already 1 strike in the 10th. She can get to 249, so we're seeing a few big numbers out of the gates here. Matt, I think you brought up a great point about the collegiate coaching aspect here. And we just came from another event, the Junior Gold Championships, which featured nearly 3,300 USBC youth members heading to Indianapolis, Indiana to compete for a national title in 3 age-based divisions for boys and girls. As Tracy gets the double with a nice hit. But definitely a unique dynamic, and don't see nearly as many coaches here at the World Youth, but you definitely, the folks you do see here, there's a reason why their programs are always near the top of the standings and the rankings when you get to the end of the season. As you mentioned, some of those names, some of the biggest, especially on the NCAA side, they've been doing a great job getting international players to make the transition over to America. Then on the USBC collegiate side, Randy Stoughton with Weber International, as you mentioned, they've had a great contingent as a stopping point and have taken home a few national titles, as well as a Wichita State, not too far away. Mark Lewis in attendance. He's got a few players in the field as well, representing Colombia and Puerto Rico, I believe, who are already current Shockers.
See, that is a good point too. The coaches with an opportunity to come and maybe not help their players that they spend the collegiate season with, but at least to see how they're doing here and see who they know, and maybe that's the best way to recruit. I think that's kind of been the Weber International way, is for the players to recruit their friends from around the world as well. And what better on your college resume than a medal at the World Championships? And here we are, day number 1, event number 1 at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. We are at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. First time the event has been held stateside since 2008 when it visited Orlando, Florida. And in 2014, we were in Hong Kong for this event, and in the singles, it was a Korean sweep. And Korea, at least in my experience at the World Championships, a dominant team and getting better and better. And we see that both at the men's and women's, and of course here at the youth, sweeping singles in 2014. A couple other storylines on the boys team event. Team USA, 2-time defending champion, and 2 players return from the 2014 winning team. We'll talk about that a little bit more as the week progresses and as we get into the boys squad. Right now, it's all about ladies first here at Sun Valley Lanes. First squad of singles qualifying. Game number 1 just about done. We'll have 6 games. We'll take a short break, and we'll have the other half of the 79-player girls field come back and try to make the top 4 here.
One of the unique aspects of World Bowling events, if you've never had the opportunity to witness one before or watch here on Bowl TV, is they will actually wait until everyone is has completed the game before they will start up the next game. So it's getting a little quiet in here as our final 2 pairs wrap up. We actually have one of them on 17-18. Also over on 19-20, we had the junior Team USA contingent of Stephanie Schwartz and Julia Bond. Schwartz finishing up with 2:08. Julia Bond can get to 2:36. With a strike on her fill ball.
Yes, Aaron, you mentioned some of the international nuances that we see. One of those being the way they move lanes, of course. Uh, Many events, there's going to be a whistle, and you have to wait on your pair of lanes until you hear the whistle. Then it's okay to move to the next pair. We're not going to start out with that here this week at Sun Valley Lanes, but the players have been instructed to kind of stay out of the way when they get to the next pair, and everybody will start together, and that certainly helps the pace of play, that everybody is starting at the same time each game. And the first game already in the books here, and we'll be here all day long today. This is just the girls A squad, and coming up at 2:30 Eastern will be the other half of the girls field, and then at 7 p.m. Eastern, the first of 3 boys squads will hit the lanes. The rest of the boys will be on the lanes tomorrow, and the semifinals will be coming up at 6:30 Eastern tomorrow evening. We'll have all of that for you here live on Bowl TV. Semifinals might be a little bit challenging from our perspective, but the finals will be right here on our featured pairs, 15, 16, 17, and 18 here at Sun Valley Lanes. And things have been known to get kind of wild and exciting. These fans and family members come a long way to watch their team members participate on the biggest stage in youth bowling, and they'll let you hear it.
Maribel Orozco from Mexico, nice 236 to lead the way on 17 and 18. Korea, Malaysia, Japan, and Macau look like they will be featured coming up in game 2.
We've seen many of the Asian players find great success on the PWBA Tour this year, and I think now, no doubt, many of these young players are following their favorites from back home and seeing them find that success, and perhaps making that list of things to accomplish in life, and one of them would be to come and compete on the PWBA Tour as adult bowlers. And we saw a great contingent from Singapore early in the season pick up a couple wins, including Bernice Lim winning the USBC Queens for a major championship. First player from Singapore to accomplish that. Sherry Tan then followed up with a standard PWBA title. And then it was the ladies from Malaysia. Lee Jane Sin and company making some noise in the second part of the PWBA season. So great to see that. And just a great group of players there, and so much talent. Right now, our look at the next generation. And also, Aaron, to point out that some coaches, some familiar faces from the United States, making their way overseas to lend a helping hand. We see Jim Callahan from Storm Bowling Products, a tour rep on the PBA and PWBA tours, but he is here this week with Team Singapore, I believe.
That's correct.
Helping them out. And we see our good friend Del Ballard, generally part of the Hong Kong team. He's not here this week. Some other responsibilities. It's not surprising or unusual to see some of those familiar faces helping out on the world stage.
Certainly seen a lot of American coaches also make the transition to foreign countries to help coach. Jerry Edwards, I believe, is with Puerto Rico. Seen her here this week. Several others. If there's ever any doubt that bowling is an international sport, quickly gets verified just by taking a quick glance here across 32 lanes at Sun Valley Lanes. Looks like we got to see a few of the highest games from Game 1 right here on Bowl TV. Janet Hunt, as we mentioned, from Australia, 265. Veronica Cepeda, 239. Maribel Orozco, 236. Julia Bond, 235. Michaela Mitchell, screen switched too fast. I didn't get to see her score, but it was in the 220s. But they're actually updating here on site, and as soon as I see them online, we'll let you know as well. Usually pretty quick here through the AMF systems that they can get results up.
Game 2 of 6 here. Everybody tuning in for 600, the best youth continued coverage on door. Their thing and champions of the championship. So sit back and enjoy it all for you live here on Bowl TV.
All right, seems we have got the issue figured out for the time being. Big thanks to John Lucido, the proprietor here at Sun Valley Lanes, for always helping us out whenever we need it. So we're still in the middle of Game 2 here in girls qualifying for singles. This is A squad. B squad will be on the lanes a little bit later today. Get you that exact time in just a moment. But B squad is scheduled to start at 1:30 p.m. local time here in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's Central, so that's 2:30 Eastern. We'll also have the first round of boys singles qualifying with their A squad. That'll be at 6 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bowl TV. And once again, we do apologize for any inconvenience. Of course, we're excited to be here showcasing the greatest talent from across the globe. We definitely appreciate everyone joining us as well. Some big numbers already, so big thanks everyone. And question in the chat, this is the 45-foot roam pattern. So this will be the exclusive pattern this week, just one pattern, so players will have the opportunity to get very familiar with not only how it starts off, but how it breaks down, as well as making the right surface changes. Their attempts to take home a few medals. Once again, we will have competition in singles, doubles, team and masters competition, as well as award all events winners. Once again, right now we're joined by competitors from Macau, Japan, Korea, and Malaysia. Nice shot there by Jinju Kim of Korea, connected on all 10. Getting ready to step up on lane 18 is Natasha Roseland, which Matt mentioned a little bit earlier before we had the internet issues. Natasha, one of the players who made her way to the United States for a few stops on the PWBA Tour. So it's good to see Natasha again here stateside. And for those of you possibly curious about the fact that we have some people competing who are based on the professional status or have won professional titles like Anthony Simonson and Jesper Svensson, for World Bowling, your status as a youth member, adult member, professional really doesn't come into play. It's all age-based. So as long as you are of the appropriate age, you can compete and represent your country. Getting ready to step up on lane 16 to convert the 4-7 is Cheng Lam So from Macau, China. Employing the helicopter release to do her best. Looking at a 4-5 on lanes 15 from Japan is Futaba Imiya. Victoria Chin delivers a strike for Malaysia, makes it 5 in a row for herself over on 17. Lane 16. This will be Sanian Wong getting ready for her 7th frame. We'll get our few final players in a moment. Where I mentioned Jinju Kim from Korea. She runs a little bit high there. Leaves the 3-6. Great shot from Roseland. We've seen most of the players so far pretty much playing up the track area. Once again, 45 foot in length. Shannon Hunt, who had the big opening game of 265, is probably closer to 4th arrow. Had a little bit more hand, and of course, you really don't want the ball to get too far away from the pocket down a 45-foot pattern, so she was attacking the lanes that way and finding some success. Actually see quite a few strikes up on the board looking across the house. One pair to our right, we have a player from Canada looking to go 279. She'll be up on lane 19 in a moment as her teammate finishes up. Looks like Brittany Turcott has one shot to go You'll see her shot on 19. That was her fill ball to get to 216. Her teammate is Michaela Mitchell, who had a pretty solid first game, was in the 220s. She's thinking 279. She'll be stepping up for her first shot in the 10th in just a moment. Mirai Ishimoto delivering the strike for Japan. As did Sunya Han for Korea. Michaela gets the first strike in the 10th, so already in the 260s. But definitely looking to put some pressure on everyone coming up next. If you're on B squad, Mr. Cannizzaro, and you see a high scoring pace, all of a sudden you might be just getting a little tense up there, start squeezing the ball a little bit if you're only on a 2-team pace, depending on obviously how this finishes up. But out of the gates, a lot of big numbers.
Well, and Aaron, a little bit different format this year at the World Youth Championships. Only one lane condition, and that kind of deviates from the usual World Championship platform where we'll see two different patterns, maybe one short and one long, or a medium and a long, medium and a short. Either way, generally two different patterns to really test the versatility of the players over the days, and each event will be contested on a different pattern. And this year, just the one pattern, 45 feet in length, WTBA Rome. So just a little different game plan, I think, here for the players. And at these events, they're allowed to bring 6 bowling balls is the number. They can, swap them in and out, however, as they're bowling. And they also have the opportunity to adjust the surfaces in between games, so they can keep the surface fresh, or if they don't quite like the look they have, they can make that adjustment in between the games. And a little different dynamic to the international competition, and certainly something that is helpful, and it helps turn a 6-ball arsenal into pretty much an infinite number of different possibilities as they progress. But with just one lane condition this week, for the players who are feeling comfortable and locked in, that's really got to be pretty good for the confidence. And in the old way, they would alternate between events, and then when it came down to team event, they would bowl a block on each pattern. And then when it got down to the semifinals, the higher seed would be able to pick what pattern they would use. And then for the finals, again, the higher seed would have choice of which pattern. But all the choices taken out of play this week. 45 feet, WTBA Rome is it. So they'll have all week long, and in theory, you should see some separation there. Some of the players start to figure things out over the couple of days. And they had official practice yesterday, 90 minutes across the house to be able to get a feel for the pattern, the approaches, the lane surface. And the Kegel Flex lane machine doing work out there. Eric Pearson here from Kegel laying down the lane condition throughout the day yesterday to get the players comfortable. But with the different dynamic, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to some of the coaches and players and see how that changed the game plan as we progress through. And again, confidence is going to be huge, knowing that you're going to see the same pattern all week long.
Victoria Chin from Malaysia has got to be having a little bit of confidence right now. Starting with 3 spares. She hasn't missed her second shot of the 10th coming up next. Once again, the Malaysian contingent. We've already seen a very impressive showing, as we talked about on the PWBA Tour. Victoria looks like she's going to be next. She throws the ball fantastic, and when you throw the ball fantastic, sometimes you get nice breaks and hits just like that. So she's going to be in the 260s now. Her teammate Natasha Roseland, once again already out on the PWBA Tour for a few stops. She's thinking 240s. Double for Sonny and Wong from Macau.
Folks out there, we do appreciate everybody tuning in for our live coverage of the 2016 World Youth Bowling Championships, or World Bowling Youth Championships, however you want to say it. Best youth bowlers in the world here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll have a recap of the action each day for you on bowl.com, so don't forget to check that out. We'll link to all the scores, let you know what's going on today. We'll have girls A squad now, followed by girls B squad, and then the start of the boys competition later tonight. 2 boys squads tomorrow before we settle in for the semifinals and, of course, the finals where the gold medals are awarded. So, Aaron, we cannot forget that after this 6-game block is over, we're going to need to track down the leader, get a picture and a couple of thoughts, and we'll get that out there for everybody to know what it was like out there on the lanes today. Of course, the girls at the end of today will know who our top 4 are. And then the boys, of course, 2 more squads tomorrow. So we'll have that recap. We'll catch up with our leader for the day. There's some good numbers here so far through 2 games. So WTBA Rome yielding some good scores here to start out the week for the girls.
Victoria Chin finishes up with 267. So she had a nice bounce back, looked like some 180 in the first. So it's a big swing there, going from -20 to plus 47.
Joining us in the chat room, Australian standout Sam Cooley. He's found some success at events like the World Youth Championships and then competing for Australia at the World Men's Championships in Abu Dhabi. And now, of course, a familiar face on the PBA Tour. So bringing it full circle and taking advantage now of the World Bowling Tour and all the great opportunities out there to compete across the globe and against the best from all of the countries. So Sam, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see Australia's finest youth bowlers throughout the week. And we do have a gigantic score monitor just above our heads, but the possibility of falling out of the live stream booth trying to look at the standings, definitely a threat for the week. The question is, who's going to tumble first?
Smart money is on Matt.
So we've got the top-heavy Matt Canizaro or the sure-footed Aaron Smith. So place your bets now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Game 2 coming to a close here. We're getting close to the halfway point here of girls A squad singles qualifying.
Some discussion in the chat about arsenals, particularly for Jesper Svensson, and that's actually something you can look up at World Bowling. All equipment has to be registered prior to bowling for score. So if you click on the results tab, you can click on bowling balls and actually go through each country, see what the most popular is. All bowling balls listed, so let's take a look at Sweden. See what we can find.
It is a pretty neat and complete system where you'll be able to go in and see the rosters for each country and see what each player has in the bag. Again, 6 balls per player. And then the opportunity to adjust surfaces in between games. So really some hard decisions to make, especially when you're coming all the way across the world and you don't know what the pattern's going to be until the official practice day, or at least the day before. So you're traveling thousands of miles, and the goal is just to pick the 6 balls that are the most versatile, give you the best look, and can be adjusted as necessary, because you could be bowling on anything from 34 feet to 47 feet or 48 feet. And you need to be ready. Players right now making their way for game number 3. So nearing the halfway point of our first squad here. Things moving along nicely and smoothly here at Sun Valley Lanes. John Lucido and staff doing a great job to get ready. John, a technical superstar with Cubic AMF and their scoring systems, and things going great here. So great few days already. Opening ceremonies, in case you missed it. We did broadcast that live on the official USBC Facebook page. That's the Sport of Bowling USBC. You want to check that out. Some kind words from some of our dignitaries and local council folks. The traditional march out of teams and a little bit of local entertainment. Something special for the players as they make their memories here in Lincoln, Nebraska in 2016.
Standings have updated on site. Michaela Mitchell, big 277, moves into first. She's at 498. Unfortunately, that's all I got to see before it changed over, so we will wait for that to roll around for our next grouping, and we'll let you know through 2 games who's doing some work out here so far. But it's like Germany, Sweden, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, all going to be on our featured pair. Scotland as well. So for some countries, teams could bring up to 4 players for both boys and girls competition for a total of 8. Some countries just do not have enough representatives, so they, they brought their players who are going to compete for titles, and depending on how many they have, singles, possibly doubles, but also for all events and masters competition. So we also have a few pacers in the field, so we may get to see 1 or 2 of those folks throughout the week, just so everyone is competing with an equal amount of competitors on each pair, so there's no disparity there.
Here's a look at the left side now. Anna Anderson from Sweden. And again, we're going to see a whole range of styles. Some top 2-handers in the field this week on the boys' side. Haven't seen any 2-handers for the ladies, though. It's been a while since we've had one in the Junior Team USA program. If you want to follow the live scoring, see your favorite players march across this 32-lane center. In the information box under your video screen here on Bowl TV, you'll see a link to the 2016 World Youth Championships Bowling official page. And there you can find all the great information, including the live scoring here at Sun Valley Lanes.
And remember to let everyone know on social media that you're watching these top youth competitors. The official hashtag this week, hashtag 2016 WYC.
And along with all the different styles, we get to hear all the different languages as they cheer for their respective players here on the lanes. It can get pretty loud and wild here for some of the countries. Looks like the Aaron Smith fan club after the live stream lined up at the door, waiting for Mr. Smith to emerge from the building. Pandemonium at times.
That's how I remember it, yes.
That's why we are protected right now by stanchions.
High above the, actually a pretty cool setup. I was a little frightened at first at the first glance, but I know John wouldn't put us in harm's way. So we are perched above the lanes here. A very unique and cool setup. Getting to take in some of the top bowlers in the world.
And Michaela Mitchell leading the way, 498 after 2. Veronica Cepeda, 485. Tracy C, 478. Unfortunately, on our score monitor here, it does not list what country they're from. So unless we remember as they make their way through the live stream, a little challenging to tell. We certainly will do our best to keep you updated throughout the week and keep our mispronunciations to a minimum at best.
That's a solid point, and for anyone watching from, a particular home country, and if we're saying the names incorrectly, please feel free to drop a line in there.
Not if, when we're saying the names incorrectly.
But please, if you can provide some type of quick guide for pronunciation, we will certainly take our notes throughout the week and do our best to keep those consistent and hopefully correct.
Aaron Smith has grown up, hopefully without his name being mispronounced, but some not so easy.
Definitely do not mind being corrected, so please let us know if of any issues.
And if you have a representative in the building, feel free to send him or her over to give us the tutorial. Right now, we get to say Uzbekistan, Scotland, Venezuela, Sweden, and Germany. Right now getting close to the halfway point of our first squad of girls qualifying. Squad B coming up at 2:30 Eastern, followed by the first group of boys at 7 p.m. Eastern. So long days of coverage here, and no matter where you are, what time you're waking up, we're probably going to be on the air for you. And we do appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, 79 players on the girls' side. That was our unofficial starting number. We'll see that for sure at the end of today. But right now, your leader, Michaela Mitchell, at 498 after 2. Nearly a 250 average on this 45-foot WTBA roam pattern. This cubic AMF scoring system, pretty sweet. It actually shows you by the player's name what country they're from. It has their nation's flag. So you can see on our right hand featured pair, 17 and 18, you see the German flag and the Swedish flag. And one pair to our left is Michaela Mitchell from Canada. She is your leader at 498 after 2.
Looks like the strikes have slowed down a little bit for Michaela. 4 9 counts and 3 spares up to this point, so having a little bit of trouble with what she's seen on 13 and 14, but Sayora gets the hit for Uzbekistan.
Bill's goal this week to have each squad as evenly matched as possible as far as participants, so 79 girls overall. So it looks like it's going to be 40 and 40 across the two squads. You can check out the list of participants on each squad if you visit the official tournament page, 2016 at wyc.worldbowling.org. There's a link to it under your video window here on Bowl TV. And a lot of great information there as far as who the players are, what squads they're on, what equipment they brought with them, live scoring so you can follow them across the house, and eventually standings will be posted as well. We have not gotten word as to how frequently that will happen or if they'll just wait until the end of the squad. But when we know, you'll know.
Again, it is updating on site here, so as games do progress, we'll We'll let you know who's around the top of the standings. Once again, the top 4, when it's all said and done, after A and B squad will advance to the semifinals.
And for Sweden, Persson. Perfect through 5. A little bit of excitement here on Bowl TV. Off the top of my head, at the 2014 World Youth Championships, 1-300 game that I can recall, Wesley Lowe from Team USA.
He had a pretty good week that event.
He did set the all events record in Hong Kong. We'll talk more about that when the boys are on the lanes, starting later tonight. Aaron, looking across Sun Valley Lanes right now, not a huge place, just 32 lanes. But, definitely a very modern and a well-decorated and up-to-date center here. But looking across the concourse, hard to tell which country has the biggest contingent of supporters here. Right now, it sounds like Australia. They definitely are very vocal and supportive of a string of strikes there on the scoreboard. Always a good crowd from England and Sweden as well. And of course, being here in the United States, I'm sure we'll see a lot of fans for Junior Team USA, and 2 of the Junior Team USA members, one of them bowling on this squad, Julia Bond. She and Jasmine Mason, both standouts and national champions at the University of Nebraska, which is just down the street. So some local media attention for them. 2 Huskers doing work in their, I guess, current hometown, home away from home as they called it. A terrific and supportive bowling community here. And the Lincoln, Nebraska USBC very instrumental, along with John Lucido, in bringing this event.
Filippa makes it 6 in a row for Sweden. She was at plus 13 after 2 games. So with the way the scoring looks, if you're following it up there, it'll add along the course of the game. So her teammate Anna says 497 is her total, but she already has 87 pins accounted for, so that puts her at plus 10.
Nice to see so much global support and more than 700 tuned in from around the world. Thank you for joining us here on Bowl TV. Matt Cannizzaro, Aaron Smith. And, some familiar names checking things out, some new names as well. One of our favorite Canadians checking in today, Brittany Crawford. We saw her on the lanes at the 2014 World Youth Championships, and now 2 years later, seeing one of her Team Canada members, Michaela Mitchell, leading the way here after 2 games. Trying to stay perfect here on lane 17. 7 for 7 for Sweden's Persson.
Again, we're on the 45-foot Rome pattern of the WTBA catalog of patterns. Just one pattern out there this week, so we'll get to see how that dynamic plays out. Players will become very familiar with this 32-lane center. We have a few pairs that are out of play, if you will, just not being used over on the high end of the house, along with 11 and 12 and 21 and 22. So they'll get to kind of get familiar with what makes each pair tick and kind of know when they get to a good pair, or maybe one that they've had some struggles on, what the right move is.
Well, of course, as we get through each event, and the boys and the girls, different numbers of participants. Right now, 79 girls, so we'll have 2 squads of 40. And then the boys' number is 129 unofficially. So we'll split them up over 3 squads. Then, of course, we'll have the same setup for doubles. And then we'll get into the team competition. 37 countries represented this week. Not everybody with a full team, of course. We mentioned that earlier. And then Masters competition will wrap up the week.
Nice shot there by Bettina Berghaar from Germany over on 17.
But today and tomorrow, all about singles. We have the finals tomorrow night at 7:15 Eastern. Thursday and Friday will be doubles. Saturday and Sunday team finals and the start of Masters competition Monday. And we'll wrap things up on Tuesday.
Make it 8 in a row for Filippa Persson from Sweden. She's looking to get into that semifinal, Mr. Cannizzaro. Keeps throwing great shots like that. It's going to be easy.
Well, some great competition. 6 games. Wouldn't say that's a marathon by any means. Certainly enough time for the top players to establish themselves, and then the waiting game begins. B squad coming up next. Only the top 4 will advance to tomorrow's semifinal round.
Our players from Scotland looking to start their 10th frame on lane 16, both working on 3 in a row. Allison Williamson will be up first. Nice shot by Anna Anderson, making it 3 in a row for herself. Looking for 9 in a row. Gets it. Philippa Pearson.
Aaron, I'm going to check my files here. I feel like somewhere there's a record book for the World Youth Championships. I've no doubt we asked that question a few times in Hong Kong with the role that Wesley Lowe was on. So I will do my research and we will wait to see if we are about to see our first perfect game of the 2016 event.
Nice finish for Allison Williamson. Going to be in the 2 teens. The late 6-bagger. 217 with the late 6-bagger. Attacking the lanes from the left and gets the trip 6. Nice finish, Allison. From Venezuela, Adriana Laguado. Looking at a bucket. Ashley Gill, our final competitor on 15 and 16. Looking to get to 218 with 3 more strikes. Gets to the 1-3, can't get the 10 out. She can get to 197. Bettina Berghard can finish up with 200 even for Germany with the conversion and a strike on her fill. Final shot from Anna Anderson, 206. Leah Degenhardt from Germany stepping up on 17. Some struggles this game. Can still get to 178. But Philippa Pearson stealing the show, front 9 here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. She's going to be stepping up on lane 18. Looking to keep it going. Got a few extra folks around, a few camera phones up. We're here live on Bowl TV. Here we go, 10th shot. Eight-pin stands for a quick second, but it knew better. 10 in a row. Looking to make it 11. It's going to have a chance to get up the hill. Gets the late kick of the 10. Sweden's Felipe Persson. Front 11, game 3, looking for the first perfect game at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. One shot away. This is what it's all about, folks. Best youth competitors in the world, showing it off right here. Looking for the perfect game, it's going to have a chance. Connects. 300 in the books. Sweden's Felipe Persson. Congratulations. Well-deserved round of applause. Talk about some great excitement here on Bowl TV early in the day. All right, all that excitement. We're going to have to take a quick station identification break. But we'll be right back here for game number 4 of girls qualifying for A squad. If you haven't heard or just got here late, Sweden's Felipe Persson connected for 300 here on Bowl TV, so you can scroll back a little bit as we wait for game 4 to start. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Matt Canizaro with USBC Communications. A big thanks again to everyone for joining us. 3 more games to go here on Bowl TV for A squad qualifying at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. after the excitement in game number 3 of Sweden's Filippa Persson firing the first 300 game. We're moving on to game 4, being joined by a few competitors from Finland who we've already seen a little bit earlier today, so they're back here on Bowl TV. They were on 15 and 16 to kick things off today. Also joined by the United States, so Junior Team USA making their first appearance, along with Australia and Mexico. We got to see Mexico in game 1 as well. So we'll get you an update of scores. Filippa Persson moved into first. She was at 4:13 after 1. Now at 7:13. That's the easiest way and quickest way to do some math. Nice shot by Janet Hunt from Australia. She got out of the gate strong. She fired 265. Looks like things have slowed down a little bit for those. 624 for 3 for her. Michaela Mitchell from Canada had a few struggles in game 3 as well. Mexico's Maribel Orozco actually sits in second now at 685. Michaela Mitchell from Canada, 655. Veronica Cepeda, 653. Victoria Chin, 646. Natasha Roseland, 640. Tracy C. also at 640. Julia Bond on our feature pair, 635. And Raquel Orozco, also from Mexico, 631. So that was a top 9 actually. Switched over before I got to 10th. I was so close yet so far away. But once again, 2 squads of qualifying for the girls, 6 games. Top 4 scores when it's all said and done. Make it to the semifinal round and take home a medal. Just a matter of what they do after that to determine if it's bronze, silver, or gold. Players who lose in the semifinal share the bronze medal, excuse me. And then we have the gold medal match. Janet Hunt was in 10th place, so 624. So there's your top 10. Look at Emily Cross, looking for 2 in a row, delivers from Australia. Stephanie Schwartz from the United States unable to get the messenger to kick out the 10. Stephanie has been a very busy young lady this year. Started off by earning her spot on Junior Team USA and Team USA at the 2016 USBC Team USA trials. She won the U.S. amateur portion of the event to get that spot on the adult team as well, so that's the first time for her after making her 3rd appearance on Junior Team USA. She's then named Player of the Year for Division I and NCAA ranks. She led the Stephen F. Austin to the NCAA title. Shortly thereafter, stop at the Queens. Junior Team USA and Team USA camp. Just got back from Junior Gold where she made match play. And now here at the World Youth Championships. Julia Bond also just got back from Junior Gold. Earned her spot on Junior Team USA for a 4th time by finishing in the top 4 for qualifying. Got to see Mexico in game 1 playing the lanes pretty direct. They're still pretty close to being in that same zone. Not sure if they're just balling down to stay in the same area or might have crept in a little bit from where we saw them earlier, but they've looked pretty good, pretty consistent so far today. Nice shot from Julia Bond. As Matt mentioned, Julia and Junior Team USA teammate Jasmine Mason both compete collegiately here in Lincoln. So very familiar, feel very at home in this community after spending a few years with the Cornhuskers. So a pretty special moment for them to share in this, to not only compete as teammates for the country, but in their home away from home here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Julia Bond 4 for 4. And once again, for more information on the World Bowling Youth Championships, be sure to visit 2016wyc.worldbowling.org. You can find the link to the description, or in the description below the video. Find the link to live scoring, so you can follow your favorite competitors around this 32-lane facility. Strikes are plentiful on 17 and 18 for the second consecutive game. After we got to watch Sweden's Filippa Persson connect on 12 consecutive strikes. Julia Bond off and running here in game 4. Nice shot from Stephanie Schwartz. Senni and Annie from Finland joining them, and Senni a little trouble back-to-back frames here. Now looking at the 3-6, 7-10 to convert to avoid a second consecutive open frame. Great conversion there. So she can get back on track and start connecting on the 1-3. Bond makes it 6 for 6. Once again with the unique format here, 2 squads, 6 games, only the top 4 advance. You really don't give yourself much room to work with if you're bowling on a squad. If you're outside the top 4, you're automatically out of the medal round. And even if you are in the top 4, you really don't know what the pace of the next squad is going to bring you. Definitely doesn't hurt to be on top of the standings.
Well, that also presents another interesting opportunity for these players. Mr. Smith, right now it's just Tuesday morning, and some of these players have bowled their 6 games and they'll be done. And they won't be back on the lanes until Thursday. So they'll have an opportunity to check out the great Nebraska landscape and all the cool things around. And there's even a trip to the outlet mall planned for players from 37 countries. But yeah, it could end up being a long week of waiting for some. Of course, the ones in the top 4 will be sweating it out for the rest of the day to see if they're able to hold on. And we'll know by the end of today's competition who our 4 players will be on the girls' side. The boys, however, will have 3 squads over 2 days. So they'll go into tomorrow afternoon before we know. So for the boys who take the lead tonight, it's going to be a long day tomorrow of waiting to see if they hang on, while those not in the top 4 here or on the boys' side tonight will be out and about, perhaps enjoying some things in the Lincoln area or here supporting.
Across the center here, standing room only. Cheering on their teammates, whether they're bowling on the next squad or, as Matt mentioned, not bowl until later or even tomorrow. Julia makes it 7 for 7.
Well, for Julia Bond, a temporary resident of Lincoln, Nebraska, as a student at the University of Nebraska, she's already seen what Lincoln has to offer, so she'd probably rather be bowling tomorrow in the semifinals, and most likely will be back to support her teammates later tonight. Her Nebraska teammate, Jasmine Mason, and the 4th member of their team this week, Jordan Richard, also a top collegiate player.
Julia sits in 8th after 3 games. She was at 635. So Ari putting herself in a very good position here to make up some ground on the field. Finland's still striking away. She had an open in the second frame, but everything else strikes through 7 frames. So she can still go 260s this game after 300 in game.
All right, Aaron, I did get an update from one of our tournament staff members, Danny Santos, letting me know about the. They're just getting everything situated. That's yet, but they're playing. By Gidor. Now, remember, Persson from Sweden bowled 300 in game number 3. Leading the. Peta. Names at this point not too important, but that number is what the players need to look at. Obviously, you can't make the semifinals if you don't leave this squad in the top 4. 79 players overall, only 4 spots up for grabs. Julia Bond from Junior Team USA surged her way into the top 4, working on the front 7 right now on lane 18. Trying to stay perfect. That is where Persson finished off her perfect game in game number 3. Julia just outside the top 4 after 3 games. And gets the 8th one. Huge surge for Bond here in game number 4. Again, 6 games total. And then we wait. This week, just 1 lane pattern at the 2016 World Youth Bowling Championships here. And that is the 45-foot WTBA Rome pattern. That's why you'll see some of the players a little bit farther left here. Stephanie Schwartz for Team USA. Between 12 and 17 there at the arrows. A little hard to tell from this angle. But point being, a little bit farther left. Because that length of the pattern would dictate, at least on paper. The ladies do tend to play the lanes a little bit straighter. We'll get our first look at the boys this evening. We have one more squad of girls qualifying coming up next. Most of those players already in the building. Watching how this first squad is attacking the lanes. I imagine the crowd behind Julia Bond is going to grow here. Should she connect on number 9? Right now she's up on lane 17. Make that 9 for 9 for the local standout.
There's a no-doubter right there. She's had a few come in light and mixed them up, but that one dead flush.
Well, John Lucido, proprietor here at Sun Valley Lanes, told me the TV news will be here sometime afternoon today. I want to give them a call and let them know. Local standout. Julie Bond, front 9.
She gets the finish on lane 18 too. That's same lane Philippa finished on. She's going to has a chance to go 260s this game. So she's still striking away. A few pairs to our left. I think she's on 9 and 10. If you're following along on the live scoring.
We'll try to stand up again, Aaron Smith. I'm going to go now while Stephanie Schwartz still has 2 shots left. That's how long it's going to take to wiggle my way out of our secure accommodations.
It's true. It's all about security nowadays, so we're making sure you're secure, Matthew. But we'll take care of it here on Bowl TV. So you get the cell phone hopefully prepared once again for another run at 300.
Be pretty cool to have it live on Bowl TV. To grab a highlight, of course. Also special, we'll get that up. Or we have the last one up on the official USBC Facebook page. Sport of Bowling USBC.
Stephanie's gonna have a nice game here, 227 with one more strike.
I think the other cool part about the size of this center is that we can see strings of strikes from where we are. So if we need to run somewhere with the swift, long-legged speed of an Eric Pearson type performance, we can get there. But right now, all eyes on Julia Bond, front 9, Junior Team USA.
All 3 in the 10th for Stephanie Schwartz. Finishes with 227. That'll put her at 833 for 4 games. Julia Bond was the MVP of the NCAA National Championships in 2015 as a freshman, helping lead the Cornhuskers to a national title. Looking to continue her string of strikes. Has started with 9 consecutive. Stepping up on lane 18 to the far right of your screen. Looking to make it 10. She's gonna have a chance. Gets the can opener to make it 10 in a row. Seen some of Julia's collegiate coaches in attendance as well at Nebraska. Bill Straw, Paul Klempa. Julia, the classic Nebraska style. Grown very accustomed to seeing throughout the years. An unbelievably successful program. Looking to make it 11 in a row. That's going to have to push 6, 7, 10, but she's going to be in the 280s. Great run from Julia. Unfortunately, a little bit short of our second perfect game here at the World Bowling Youth Championships, but that's going to be a big jump for her in the standings. Going to get into that plus 120 range. Put herself in pretty good position with 2 games to go. Takes it to 286. She's now at 921 for her 4 games. All done on 17 and 18. Once again, great run by Julia Bond. making a run at 300. Comes up a little bit short, 286 after the front 10, the 6-7-10. Was her undoing on the 11th shot. She's going to be knocking on the door at the top of the standings after that performance. One of the players ahead of her, Mexico's Maribel Orozco, having some struggles this game. She'll be up for her 10th frame on 16 in a moment. Maribel was sitting in second coming into game 4. Question in the chat on where you can see the live score. Once again, you can visit worldbowling.org. The exact site is 2016 wyc.worldbowling.org. We also have a link in the description below the video. That'll take you directly there.
Mr. Smith looking up some unofficial World Youth Championships records. It appears that was just the 3rd perfect game on the girls' side in WYC history. Again, unofficial records, a compilation from around the world. We just did a 3-country triangle of information sharing between Asia, Europe, and here in Nebraska. So feeling pretty good about that. First one in the records, Danielle Alvarado in 2008. Bernice Lim, a recent USBC Queens champion from Singapore, had one in 2012. And now Persson from Sweden adding her name to the list. Again, all unofficial. And on the boys' side, just 4 in the event's history. Last one coming in 2014, Wesley Lowe from the United States. Tommy Jones for Team USA had the first one back in 1996.
Whoa. Tommy Jones. That was a while ago, Matt.
It was a few years back. Tommy still going strong. Now the history of this event, not too long. Dates back to 1988, that year known as the International Youth Championships held in the Philippines. Later became the World Youth Championships, returning to the Philippines in 1990. And has been going steady every 2 years since. Last time held here in the United States, 2008. That was in Orlando, Florida. 2012 went to Bangkok, Thailand. 2014 in Hong Kong. And we do appreciate everybody stopping in. We know you're going to be probably in and out throughout the week, and we'll do our best to refresh everybody on what's going on, what the scores are looking like and exactly what we're doing here. We are here for wire-to-wire coverage of the World Youth Championships Game 4 of singles on our first squad for the girls. Coming to a close here, our two featured pairs this week, 15 and 16, 17 and 18. Here is Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. The semifinals are going to get a little bit tricky for us here in the live stream booth. They'll take place on 11, 12, and 13 and 14. Obviously, the top four will make it to the semifinals, so the number 1 seed will take on the 4 seed. 2 and 3 will do battle on those two pairs, and then that'll be either boys or girls. And then on 19 and 20, 21 and 22 will be the other division. Again, 2 matches of semifinals, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and the 2 winners will meet in the gold medal matches, which will take place on our featured pairs here, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So if we can make our way through the semifinals as comfortably as possible, we'll have some pretty good quality coverage of the finals, minus the commentary, of course, here on our featured pairs. So we look forward to that, but that is not for some time. The way the schedule is looking like, we'll have our next squad of girls coming up at 2:30 Eastern. And then the boys will get underway tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. That will wrap things up for the day. We'll have a recap for you on bowl.com and on USBC's official social media, the Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook and at USBC on Twitter. And we'll be back all day tomorrow with boys qualifying. Semifinals will take place at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Boys and girls simultaneously, followed immediately by the singles finals and medal presentation. So we do appreciate everybody stopping in, giving us part of your Tuesday. We'll be here all week long. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat room. We'll do our best to either answer, make up something believable, or actually find somebody who can tell us what's what.
All right, our competitors for game number 5 making their way to our featured pairs. Once again, we'll get to see some familiar faces along with some new ones, so we'll definitely get the opportunity, especially with competing in an intimate environment as we are here at Sun Valley Lanes, 32 lanes. A few of the pairs down, we'll more than likely get to see everyone at some point throughout the week. So we're seeing our competitors from Macau, China, and Korea for the second time today. But we're getting joined by England over on 15 and 16 and Chinese Taipei on 17 and 18. So 17 and 18, if you've never seen the helicopter style, you'll get to see all 4 competitors employ that. So definitely a little different, little unique. Nice shot from Sunhua Hong. Playing the outside portion of the lane. We've seen some of our other competitors already start and or move into closer to 3rd, and some of them creeping towards 4th arrow here on this 45-foot pattern. Once again, WTBA Rome is the official condition this week. Sophie Thompson from England mixes them up for an early strike, so nothing but strikes on 15 and 16 to start. Jinju Kim will look for 2 in a row on 15. As Katie Tagg will look to start with a double of her own for England on 16.
And Aaron, it does look like they have the scores updated through 3 games on the official tournament website. Again, you can find the link to that under your video window here on Bowl TV. And a lot of great information there. Scores updated through 3 games. Should be game by game after this. Of course, game 4 just wrapped up moments ago. So once they have those updated and uploaded, they'll be there for you to see how your favorite players are doing. Again, through 3 games, Persson from Sweden leading the way at 7-13, including the 3rd perfect game in tournament history. Maribel Orozco from Mexico, 685. Michaela Mitchell, 655. She's from Canada. Veronica Cepeda from Colombia, 653. Rounding out the top 5, Victoria Chen from Malaysia, 646. But some big moves in game number 4. Julia Bond getting into the 280s and making a huge jump.
Looks like she jumped all the way into 2nd from starting the game in 8th overall for the squad. So
definitely a challenge with the 2 squads. You want to put up a score big enough. I don't know that you'll ever feel comfortable at that point, but at least give yourself a chance. Say if you're in the top 2, maybe feel a little bit better. 2 pretty equal squads, great players on both. Some teams, like Junior Team USA, I think most teams even, split 2 and 2. So to be the best in an entire country, I think is already pretty phenomenal. And now you bring 37 countries together. And you've got 79 definite contenders on the ladies' side. So we will watch it unfold here live on Bowl TV. Waiting for the scores to come back around so we can tell you for sure what's happening. Korea on our featured pair now, 15 and 16. Dominated singles in 2014, winning both boys and girls. Both players starting with doubles here in game number 5 before that 10 pin. If you remember back in 2014, we had 2 channels going here on Bowl TV. We had the boys on one channel, girls on the other. Much bigger center, everybody bowled at the same time. So we're able to bring you double the action. But here, you don't have to choose. No switching channels. Everything right here. Girls bowling first, boys coming up later tonight. Official hashtag this week, 2016 WYC. You also can visit worldbowling.org or hashtag worldbowling. See what's going on across the globe. Aaron Smith questioning my research. It is a real thing, hashtag World Bowling.
All right, just want to make sure.
Of course, one of the main objectives for World Bowling is to help get bowling into the Olympics by hosting world-class events and world championships with a definite emphasis on the youth and a future for the sport. I think that's kind of the theme here this week, is showing the world just how deep and talented the bowling community is. These great players will become the next adult team stars in their countries, and then on to the professional ranks perhaps. Bowling on the short list for inclusion in the Olympics, and the next push for that will be coming right around the corner. And your leader after 4 games still Philippa Person, 968 after 4. Julie Bond second at 921. Tracy C not far behind. Scores not yet updated online. That is just on site here at the center. Person averaging 242 through 4 games. Really enjoying this 45-foot WTBA Rome oil pattern. Rome if you want to. There's a musical reference.
You've been listening to the 80s station too much this week, Matt.
Well, that was my heyday, the 1980s. It's all been downhill for me ever since.
As we mentioned, we got to see Macau earlier today on Bowl TV. This is Cheng Lam So, also bowling Son Ian Wang. For Chinese Taipei, Suan Yu Chen and Zhu Ting Lin.
All right, for those of you in the chat room, 800 strong. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from. Always nice to see who's online and what time it is. And, I think we'll be here for about 12, 13 hours a day this week. So a chance for everybody to fall asleep to the sweet sounds of Matt Canizar and Aaron Smith, or wake up to the same. That would be fantastic. But let us know, where are you tuning in from? And who are your favorite players? This is game number 5 of 6. Then we'll take a short break and come back on this afternoon for the second half of girls qualifying.
Certainly have gone international, Matt. Canada, Sweden, Philippines, Germany. We're all over the place. Excellent, excellent stuff. Thanks, everybody.
Definitely do appreciate all the support. Again, if you're checking in and out throughout the day, you want to find the recap, you can find that later tonight on bowl.com. Also, highlights on social media, the official USBC Facebook page, Sport of Bowling USBC, and then on Twitter at USBC. And if you'd like to find us personally and see some of our behind the scenes photos and thoughts from the 2016 World Youth Championships, you can find me on Facebook, Matt Canizaro USBC, or check us out on Twitter at USBC Matt and at USBC Aaron.
Aaron.
And of course, if you're nearby or within a couple hours drive, come on out. Very reasonably priced tickets for admission here at Sun Valley Lanes. And for many of these countries, the big deal is the team event. That's what many of them prepare for. Team finals will be taking place on Monday morning. Semifinals at 10 a.m. Eastern, and the finals immediately after at 11:15 Eastern. So if you've never seen international bowling, that would be the time to swing by Sun Valley Lanes here in Lincoln, Nebraska. The excitement is kind of rivals collegiate bowling, if you've experienced that, but with many different languages. Each country with its own chants and celebrations, so always entertaining.
Sport of Bowling certainly does speak an international language, but a language all these players, no matter where they're from, can understand and respect what their fellow competitors are doing out there. We've seen a lot of camaraderie already on the lanes. Probably can't catch it necessarily from where the cameras are pointed at, but a lot of congratulations, high fives for fellow competitors, and I'm sure a lot of cool friendships will be made. I couldn't imagine having this opportunity just to get to bowl with someone different every game from a different country. Very, very cool opportunity for all of these competitors out here this week. Of course, with social media, a new way to stay connected. Taking a look at live scoring, Julia Bond at it again. Over on lanes 25 and 26 after a spare in the first. She's thrown 6 in a row after the big 286 in game 4 here on Bowl TV. Filippa Persson from Sweden having a few struggles, a few single pin misses over on 27 and 28, so I believe they were about 40 pins apart or so. So that might push Julia into the lead if she's able to continue strong. "47 pins separated them for the top spot of A squad qualifying. So Julia might make up that difference here in game 5. She keeps it going. Players from Korea put together a pretty solid effort. So we hit the back half of game number 5. Jinju Kim working on a double. Still shoot 268 this game. It's a max score. That shot though runs a little bit high, left off her hand. I believe it's a 3.6710. Her teammate Soonhwa Hong playing even a little bit further right where she's at on the lane. She's connected on 5 out of 6 so far. She'll be up in a moment for her 7th frame. I'm sure there'll be some communication between the coaches and the players there. Figure out what happened. Oh, thought that was gonna get a little bit more of the 3-pin. Filippa Persson's going to max out at 195. So it's looking like Julia Bond of the United States is going to move into the lead here. She's still striking. She'll be stepping up in the 10th in a moment. With the opportunity to shoot 290. Next closest competitor was Tracy C at 887. Bond at 921. Persson at 967. Stephanie Schwartz from Junior Team USA finishing up her 10th frame. One more shot to go, and then Julia will look to keep it going. 4 in a row for Sonny and Wong from Macau. Once again, the unique helicopter style being employed on 17 and 18. Julia Bond up in the 10th. Looks like a 7-10 possibly for her. See the red circle up there, so that's a momentum stopper. Regardless, she's already in the 250s, but certainly would have liked to added a few more on there, getting to the 260s, 70s, even 290s. She takes the one. So she'll finish with 256. What could have been, but she looks like by all accounts, she's going to move into the lead for A squad.
Still one more game to go, and then we will break to redress the lanes and get ready for B squad. See if Julia can hold on and be the player to beat.
Talk about a great way to kick off the event, though. You're, once again, as we already mentioned, Julia Bond, as well as Jasmine Mason from Junior Team USA, both bowl collegiately here in Lincoln for the University of Nebraska. So certainly a familiarity with the area, possibly already getting ready for the upcoming semester. Might be in town already, so certainly feeling at home at Sun Valley Lanes. And talk about a great start to have the opportunity to walk in and lead the first event.
Well, did see some University of Nebraska t-shirts. Some nice friends coming on out. The media pretty excited about that as well. It's not often you get the World Championships in your backyard. I know, of course, Nebraska being a big sports state, and Lincoln especially with the Huskers and all their success. Of course, the College World Series baseball, not too far away in Omaha. Our final few frames here of game number 5. Chinese Taipei and Macau doing work on 17 and 18. England and Korea on 15 and 16.
It does appear Julia Bond is going to move into the lead by about 13 or 14 pins. The scores on site here. Update as players finish. Once again, this is a little bit different from what we have for the online scoring. So this is through the system directly, but so when players finish the game, the scores begin to update. So when that comes around again, we'll let you know for sure. Julia Bond, after 256, is at 11.77. Philippa Persson from Sweden, 11.63. Her teammate Anna Andersson, 10.72. Stephanie Schwartz at 10.59. Those are a few of the bigger scores through 5. Once again, not everybody done yet, so those standings subject to change, but those first 2 spots up there pretty looking pretty good.
So another great event of international competition going on not too far away in South Florida. The Lee Evans Tournament of the Americas. That includes top contenders from North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean. So some of these countries able to show their depth and versatility, sending squads to both events. So a lot happening in the bowling world here this summer.
Soonhwa Hung back on it after the 7 spare in the 8th frame. She can shoot 256 of her own here. Once again, one more game to go after this before A squad is in the books, and the competitors for B squad prepared to hit the lanes. We'll restart the live stream and get a separate event for that. If you want to take a look at the live stream schedule, be sure to visit bowl.com/livestream. There's a lot going on there, but that's how we like it. So a lot of action, wire-to-wire coverage here of the 2016 WIC. Most of our competitors done with game number 5. We're finishing up right here. Zhu Tinglin finishes with the last 5 for 203. Sonny and Wong had a nice string of 6 consecutive strikes before the 7-9 there, but she'll shoot 223.
Smells like lunchtime here at Sun Valley Lanes. Aaron Smith. As folks filing in and out. One more game and we'll say goodbye to half of our ladies for the day. Other half on their way in. They'll be on the lanes at 2:30 Eastern. That is 1:30 here local time. So we'll have about an hour break for Eric Pearson of Kegel to work his magic. Get these lanes stripped, cleaned, and re-oiled for the next squad.
Looks like Scotland and the Philippines will be joining us on lanes 17 and 18. Tenth frame Korea for Korea and England still to go. Soonhwa Hong getting ready to step up, working on a strike. 256. still out there.
So Tracy C. from Singapore was third after 4 games. Can strike on the field ball, 1 pair to our left for 202. A little bit of separation for Julia Bond and Philippa Persson from Sweden. Still 40 talented players headed our way for B Squad girls singles qualifying here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships.
Nice shot there by Sophie Thompson to kick off her 10th frame. Sunhwa Hong finishes with 236. Double on the 10th for Sophie. Some trouble with the red circles there in the middle of game 2, but strong start and strong finish. Get some momentum going into the final game and towards the rest of the event. Finishes with all 3, 178. Game 5 in the books. 1 game left to go here on Bowl TV for the opening round of qualifying for girls singles. This is A Squad, B Squad. As we mentioned, coming up next here on Bowl TV. Later tonight, first round of boys singles. Rika Makatula from Philippines will kick things off for game 6. Allison Williamson will do the same for Scotland over on lane 18, Germany and Canada. Over on 15 and 16. Bettina Bergard will kick things off for Germany. Up on 15, and Brittany Turcott for Canada. Julia Bond from the United States, 1177 leading the way. Philippa Persson, 1163. Tracy C, 1088. Victoria Chin, 1079. Round out your top 4. Anna Anderson, 1072. Maribel Orozco, also 1072. First few scores out of the top 4 for A Squad. Kayla Mitchell had taken the early lead through 2 games. And shooting a big 270, but has not seen the strikes come her way here in the past 3 games. Looking for a big finish, though. Leah Degenhardt with a nice shot there to kick off game 6. Zira Cabusas from the Philippines getting ready to step up on 18. Ashley Gill from Scotland will be our final competitor, so I think we got our introductions in the books. Again, these scores obviously counting towards the singles portion to see who qualifies for the medal round, but also goes towards each player's all events and in turn Masters totals. Medals will be awarded for all event scores in singles, doubles, and team competition, so a total of 18 games. And then from that, the top competitors overall will advance to Masters competition. Brittany starts off with 3 in a row for Canada here in game 6. Big welcome in the chat room to Ann Gray, getting to watch her granddaughter bowl. So that's cool. Checking out Allison Williamson from Scotland. Definitely cool to be able to bring this competition to you live from not only here from Sun Valley Lanes, but the fact that it can go internationally and folks can watch that way. Pretty awesome. Matt Cannizzaro mentioned the local interest from the Lincoln community news-wise here, and actually have one of the stations out there, so they're actually videotaping Julia Bond over on lanes 7 and 8. Julia, leader after 5. We have Philippa Person, one pair to our right on 19 and 20, so we can keep tabs on her as well. Question in the chat, when do the boys bowl? They start their qualifying later this evening with A squad, and that's going to be at 6 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern here on Bowl TV. We'll feature all 6 games. Once again, the boys will also have B and C squad qualifying taking place Wednesday starting at 10 a.m. Eastern until we know our top 4 for them. We will award our first set of medals for boys and girls singles competition, starting with the semifinals. That'll be at 6:30 Eastern. We'll go right from the semifinals into the finals. After players get their practice, we'll know who's taking home the gold in singles competition. Our players from Scotland put together a nice finish here. Five out of six to start for Allison Williamson. Ashley Gill, 5 out of 6 as well. Nice shot from Leah from Germany. 5 out of 6 for her. Filippa Persson from Sweden. Still shoot .259 this game. Competing on 19 and 20 at the moment. Only through 7 frames, but that's her max total. Working on 3 consecutive strikes. Julia Bond just 1 strike through 4 frames. In her final game, she held a 14-pin advantage over the Swede. So that one might come down to the final few frames. Once again, these players on A squad aiming for the top 4, but if you're in the top 1 or 2, feel a little bit better about it. Final few frames here on Bowl TV of A squad qualifying for girls at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro. We'll be here for wire-to-wire coverage. Today is the first day of competition. We had an opening ceremonies on Sunday, along with the official practice session yesterday. And now, competition daily, singles, doubles, team, and masters competition. We'll also award medals in all events here at the 2016 WYC. For more information on the event, you can go into the description area below the video. You'll find a link to the official World Bowling Youth Championships page, 2016 WYC.worldbowling.org. You can find standings, schedule, participants, online scoring, and everything else you need to know about this fantastic event. Of course, a big thanks to everyone at World Bowling for making this event possible as we continue to look to get bowling into the Olympics. The talent level out here certainly makes a great case. We'll see Leah Degenhardt of Germany stepping up on 15, 7 out of 8 strikes so far. Asking for it to push a little bit, gets a nudge on the 4. Fortunately does not tumble. Of course, also big thanks to our host proprietor, Sun Valley Lanes, John Lucido, one of the best in the business. If you've never had the opportunity, definitely one of the good guys in bowling. He's done everything in his power to make this event as world class as it should be for both the competitors, fans, and even us live stream guys up here in the booth. So big thank you to John and his staff for what surely will be a great week here. Final few shots here. All of our feature pairs and the pairs around them just about done here. So as soon as they finish up, we'll go ahead and turn the cameras off, let them rest for a little bit as we figure out who ends up leading the squad. Still undetermined. It's going to be Julia or Felipa. Person can still get to 227. She's going to be stepping up in the 10th frame. Julia a few frames behind pace, but looks like just one strike for her. She's clean still, but held a 14-pin advantage. We'll need to find a way to throw a few strikes to maintain that lead. Once again, B squad qualifying coming up at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 local time here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So the competitors at the top will have to play the waiting game, see if their score is enough to hold on for the medal round taking place tomorrow. So the top 4 will make it. Bowlers who lose in the semifinals will share the bronze. Then we'll have a silver and gold to award after that. Leah from Germany leads the way with 234. Could have been a few more, but split in the 10th, or open in the 10th, I should say. Finishes off. It still is a pretty nice game there to finish things out. 11.73 for her. High on the pair after 6. Kayla Mitchell at 12.30, so that's plus 30. Philippa Person gets the first strike in the 10th. She's over on 19 and 20, actually finishing on lane 19, so that was a shot you just saw over there. So once again, looking to get to 227. So we finish up on our other feature pair, 17-18, Scotland and the Philippines. Nice finish from our players from Scotland, 215 and 212. This person's second shot of the 10th. We've seen her strike a lot in the 10th, shooting 300 earlier today live on Bowl TV in game number 3. Delivers the double. Julia Bond connects on a second strike in the 7th frame. She had 117 in the 6th. She can still get to 237 overall if she's able to strike out. After Philippa's final shot, we'll get you her total. We'll have to wait and see if Julia can catch up. Delivers all 3 in the 10th. 227 for a 1396 game total. So she's going to be in the top 2 when it's all said and done. Will it be enough to hold on to the top spot, though? We'll have to wait and see here on Bowl TV. We'll give you a recap of everything that comes up when we start B Squad coming up again in about an hour, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 local time, here in